Big thanks to Bandai Namco Toys and Collectibles America for sending this out. You can check out Bandai Collect and links to buy this in the description.
Kaiju, turtles, Dragon Ball, and more. It's Steven's Toy Reviews.
Is in the love of a hero. Hey there, Collector Steven here, and I'm proud to say Sam Raimi's back making some superhero movies, and today we have a review of his latest endeavor, or at least a character from that. We're going to have Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, the SH Figuarts release. Now, we're coming right off the tail of a whole bunch of MCU figure releases from Tamashii Nations and also reviews from myself. And now we're going to end this short little burst with Doctor Strange. And coming right off of the Battle on Titan edition, we do have this one, which is going to be roughly the same price. Now, folks are definitely going to wonder whether they should hold off for the Battle on Titan edition, save up a couple pennies, or if they should go with the Multiverse of Madness version. Let me give you one little hint. This one comes with a snake. So that should sway you, right? Well, let's take a look to see whether or not this version of Doctor Strange is going to be worth adding into your collection. Oakley dokley, aside from being based and Chad-pilled, we do have Doctor Strange here, and quite frankly, if you're looking to pick this one up in terms of the looks department, there's only going to be one issue that I can think of with this figure, and that is going to be something that quite a few folks have noted in the community as well in the different collecting circles. It looks like for the face printing technology that they had for Benedict Cumberbatch, I'm not going to go ahead with that meme, though Sam Raimi comic book, gotta have Nickelback in there. It looks like that the ink levels for pretty much all of the production samples that I have seen seem to be set to rather high. All of the features of Doctor Strange here seem really bold and striking and can be seen from a fair distance away. Now, that in and of itself is not a bad thing because you can clearly see the details from a good distance away. But up close, when you're handling it, you can kind of sort of maybe think to yourself, the likeness is there, but all the details seem really big. Other than that, though, everything looks really good. We do have some intricately used gold throughout the suit of Doctor Strange, if you will, or the magical robe, but that's going to be more so in his cloak or his cape, whichever you would prefer. Now we do have red accents as well, and mostly it's going to be blue for the paint coloration for Doctor Strange. We do have the cape as well, and it's more so prevalent to the articulation section, but it is wired, and I put that cape through its paces. You don't need to worry about that popping off. A critique particularly for the cape is that since you're going to see this in a little bit, it can be removed, and there is going to be a support system for that. It does not stay as well attached as some of the other Figuarts releases that do have capes or cloaks. Just something to keep in mind for the overall looks. At the end of the day, this version of Doctor Strange does look good with a couple of things that may bother you here or there. So, the Doctor is indeed strange. Boom, when it comes to articulation. Sort of? Well, let's see what we have, shall we? Okay. So, head plugs in on a ball joint. Sort of. Like most of the MCU Figuarts, we do have this portion here, which is meant to be for head swapping parts, but Doctor Strange does not have any, which is okay. And then that is going to plug into a system of ball joints wherein the neck plugs in. So we can look up just with the neck joint system that far, look down about that far, obviously look left and right with no issues. We are going to have the arms plug in on a butterfly ball joint system, which is good. And then we are going to have ball joints for the arms in and of themselves at the shoulders. He can T-pose with no issues, and we are going to have a bicep swivel-ish, sort of where the shoulder is. So instead of like a dedicated bicep swivel, or even something hidden in the single hinge elbows, we are going to have a swivel system hidden up here where the shoulder connects into the bicep. So I did make mention of the elbows. Taking a look at the wrists, we are going to have your average SH Figuart style where we're going to have a peg plugging into the forearm, a hinge, and then ball joint where the wrist plugs in. So with that swivel, we can change the direction that the hinge goes. Cool. We don't have an ab crunch, but we do have a very, very well movable waist joint. Even so far, if you go all the way back, you're going to give yourself a little bit of a gap there, which is okay. And then we just have his friend Spider-Man, who's just going to make a cameo. Hi, Spidey, and move him back off to the side. So for the hips, we are going to have the old 1.0 body pull-down style hinge. Cool. And with that, we can kick about that far forward. Let's pull the other one down. And about that far back. To the sides, because of his robe, we are going to have cuts in it, which allows him to do the splits. We are going to have those dedicated swivels there for the thighs, which is just fine. And then we're going to have single hinge knees. We are going to have ankle rockers, so this way he can twist and turn from side to side, but it's going to be more so of the barbell style ball joint, so this way he has some good range of movement. I mean, that ankle rocker, that tilt is very good. And a single hinge toe. Now, you may notice that, he's missing something here from the back for this purpose of demonstration. So for his cape, which we'll obviously take a look at in the accessory section, it plugs in and then slides down. So when you get him out of the box, something to keep in mind. So that kind of dangles off of him, right? So whenever you're moving and grooving him, just know that if you're moving parts up, right, you may accidentally bump into that and you may pull and tug. I have actually accidentally not pulled this down to lock it in place and knock the robe or the cape off. Now, with that being said, this is just supposed to kind of connect up here without an actual magnet or a connection part. But other than that, here's how you can just kind of move it around. See, you use bendy wire. It is well posable enough, and you can get it into some neat poses. So overall, Doctor Strange here looks good with or without the cape. The articulation for this body style, I think, is rather serviceable. You can get him into some neat poses, but I think he really excels with the accessories. Looks pretty good, don't you think? Time to talk about accessories, and if you love hands, then congratulations. We are going to get, let me count, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hand parts with 1 alternate left hand part, so this way he can use the sling ring, 2 magic circle effect parts, if that's what those are technically called, a snake, and with the cloak, we are going to get stand support parts, so this way the cloak can effectively be its own figure. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at those effect parts first and foremost. Compared to the Battle on Titan version of Strange, I think this inclusion is much better. We have a good texture to it. It really feels cohesive. And when we take a look at the hand parts, they actually painted the pegs orange. So this way they blend in intentionally seamlessly with those circle effects. Now we do get the snake. Again, this is probably going to be the seller of the set. Why effect? Kind of, sort of, not really familiar. It's all sorts of good. And there is a nice blend of leaning on that translucent plastic, going into paint with a nicely sculpted mouth with clear fangs. Great paint utilization with green and purples. It all looks good. Now, for the cloak parts, if you're familiar with the SH Figuarts lineup, Master Roshi, not Dr. Roshi, Master Roshi has the shell component part as well, so this way he can wear that. And when he isn't wearing that, there is a little peg for the backpack. There is also going to be similar things for the SH Figuarts Spider-Mans. I get the same thing confused with Ultra and the plural of that. Anyway, so if you don't have the cloak attached, there is going to be an included little piece of plastic that you can put in its place. We do get a support stand sort of system that the cloak then goes on. It's going to be a little peg, and this way if you have a Tamashii stage support stand somewhere, which maybe at this point you have quite a few of them, you can have the cloak freestanding on its own. For the snake as well, we do get one little support stand, which is just fine, so this way you're not going to rely on the joints to hold Strange's arm up when he is summoning the snake. Now, we took a look at all of the hand parts, but here's just going to be some action shots with some of the hands. Now, like I said, we did have those sort of splayed out hands, so this way he can use those magic circle parts, and we do get fists with what looks like he's got a peg on him, so this way he can summon the snake. Now, as we burn just a little bit more time here to get those pictures rolling, here's going to be a 360 spin view. Overall, for accessories, I do think that Doctor Strange does come with quite a bit here. However, with previous releases coming with an alternate head sculpt, and we do have already made up for Bandai, and we don't have to go, I don't know, maybe too out there with a big portal. We do get one as a first release bonus for the black and gold suit, and also with the Battle on Titan Doctor Strange. That is not included here, and considering this is the Multiverse of Madness, where, you know, stuff's coming in and out of portals, even if that's not necessarily what happened in the movie, it would have been a great inclusion here. But considering all the hand parts and effect parts, I think this is a rather solid package. If you are looking for support stands, which for some reasons one is not included, despite, you know, they hint towards that, you know, I have videos to help you out. Now we'll go ahead and round out the review with a size comparison here, where we're going to have, just to go ahead and celebrate that multiverse little duology that we had, the SH Figuarts Spider-Man, black and gold suit, upgrade suit, and Doctor Strange from the Multiverse of Madness. This should give you a good idea of how they all stand on the shelf together, and with some other figures you just might have. So, buy now, skip, or wait for a deal. The reason that I'm comparing this to the Battle on Titan edition of Doctor Strange is that both are still basically going to be on the market at this time. At the time of this review, it's going to be towards the end of 2022, so of course, if you're watching this in the future, your results may vary. With that being said, though, the Battle on Titan Doctor Strange does go for its own feel and is more so going to gear towards Endgame and that closure of the MCU sagas. Now, this one is going to be the one moving forward and is the closer, more up-to-date version of Doctor Strange. The correct answer for which one you should buy is going to be both, but if you are looking to pick this one up, quite frankly, I think it's a solid purchase. It's pretty fun.
Well, collectors, that brings us to the end of the video today, and I just wanted to take a second to thank you so much for watching. Now, you've heard a lot from me. I'd like to hear a little bit from you. Drop in the comments down below whether or not you liked it, you hated it, or maybe you were somewhere in between. I also want to take an extra second here for a nice, humongous thank you to all the patrons for SDR over the last month who have really helped the channel grow into what it can be today. So to all of you, 2 big thumbs up. Thank you very much. And now the end card should be popping up, which will give you a few clickable links, like maybe to subscribe or head on over to my Patreon, or some short URLs like to my social media or to my Teespring store. There's also a video I hand selected for you, so if you want to watch another STR video, I hand selected some good content for you to watch, so definitely check out that video. Thank you again so much for watching, and I'll catch ya in the next video.